Everyone, welcome back to our AutoCAD series. As at last class, we talked about AutoCAD 2018 and we went through a brief familiarization of how our AutoCAD interface is going to look like. And we also talked about a brief use of some of the tools or some of the panels there. But today, we'll be talking about setting our AutoCAD screen, setting of our units, limits, and also the mouse functions, how to navigate using the mouse as a form of shortcut. So let's head on into our AutoCAD and start the lesson. So first of all, once, as I said during the last class, once you install your AutoCAD, maybe by buying the disk or by downloading and installing it, of this, once you launch it, this will appear as your welcome screen or as your first page welcoming you as the first interface of the AutoCAD. And for us to start a new drawing, though I've created, let me cancel this, let me cancel it. So for us to start a new drawing, we'll head on to this start drawing panel here, head on to it, and if you check on the template here, we're having different types of templates you can use, but the best to work with is this AutoCAD DWT here that we're having here. So it is set already as a default. So what you just need to do is just click on the start drawing panel or the tab and we'll be brought to our page here. We'll be brought to our AutoCAD page here. And as I said during the last class, if you should look up here, this represents our tabs, and embedded within each tab are the tools we can use for drawing or modification or annotation of our design, which is this. And if you should come down here, this houses each of the works we are working on currently, maybe from one sheet to another. It's with the name you saved it with. Starting from here, this is the start button, the start tab here, where maybe you want to come back to your home page, then you can just click on the start button. But here it's more or less like the works you've done will show here. Since in as much as you've not closed them, they are still there, you will show them. And here is it's showing me drawing 2 because I have opened drawing 1 before and I cancelled it earlier before we started. So any work you open will always show here as your maybe on top or above your workspace here to be showing. And here we have our command tab where you can put in your command. Apart from using the tools, there are some shortcuts you can use also to make your work faster and easier. And as I explained last week, here we are having the status bar below here. You can add more to it and you can reduce it. This is practically how your status bar is going to look like, but you can modify it yourself. Let's assume by coming here, you can ask it to display your workspace label to display what you're working on with currently in full. If you want to change from 2D to 3D drawing, you want to start your 3D, then you can come here either to 3D basics or 3D modeling. But for your 2D work, it's advisable to be left in drafting and annotation. And once we come here to these 3 dashes we are having here, there are some other things that need to be outside here on the status bar here, which are not there. So you can come here and select them. And once it is ticked, then it will be appearing here. And once it's unticked, it will disappear from the status bar. So let's say, for example, our dynamic inputs that's appeared, which is this. This is our dynamic input. Though I'll come back and talk about the uses maybe later on. We have our line width, which is this that's appeared. The transparency, I don't even need that. The selection cycling, though we will need this, but basically in 3D, which is this. We need this very well when we are doing our 3D. 3D object snap, also that one for 3D. Dynamic QCS and selection filtering. This gizmo is basically for 3D. I think those are all what we just need for now. But this is just typically how your status bar is going to look like. So let's just close this panel. And apart from selecting your tools here, there are other ways you can bring that. So that there is a way you can bring it out to your left side and right side here of your drawing sheet. Make your work easier instead of you now looking for them one by one here or coming down here. The tools are brought out already. There's a way you can do that. And to do that, you can just come down to this drop down button here, come here to show menu bar. Now, some tabs are shown here as our menu bar here. These are our menu bar here. Now, come down to tools, workspace, no, sorry, tools, toolbars, AutoCAD. So these are our tools we'll be needing. First of all, let's bring out our draw tool. Now that I brought out our draw tool, we're now having our drawing tool here, which are these: the line, the poly. Now we are having only line and polyline here, but when we brought it out, we are having our line, the construction line, and the polyline. They all have their uses. Maybe during the next class, we'll explain better on how it works, on how the tools works and everything. Um we'll go deeper. We'll go deep into the uses of the tools. But for today, we just need to set our interface, the unit, save our work, our drawing work, set the unit, the limit, and the mouse function. By the next class, we'll go deep into what the tools are used for, the uses of the tools. So now, these are our drawing tools here, which are now shown here. We are now having our polygon tool, which is same thing as this, but it's showing rectangle here, which is this rectangle. For you to get this polygon shape, then you click on this drop down arrow. We are having the rectangle and the polygon, which are now separated outside here for easy access. You can just come here and select them easily. Here we are having our ellipse, center axis end, and elliptical arc. But here we are having only ellipse here. I think is here also ellipse arc. Okay, this one is ellipse arc, but this is the ellipse. So if you need to draw various form of ellipse, then you can just come here. Here we are having our gradients, hatch, and boundary, which are here. This is our hatch, gradients, and boundary. And sorry, region here. Region is here also. You know, if you don't know the usefulness of the tools, also you can just hover over each of the tool without clicking them. It will show you the tool you select. You are hovering over the uses and then the short form command. It will show you the short form command below the below the description. It will show you the short form command of the tool you selected. So now these are our drawing tool now. These are our tool for drawing. Though it's not all we'll be needing, but we'll be using majority of it. And now to bring out the rest of the tools, instead of us going back to our tool here and selecting toolbars and AutoCAD, we can just hover over any of our the toolbar we've brought out already and right click over any of it. Just right click. It will bring out the tab for you to bring out your tools. Now we'll be needing our dimension, which is this. This should be coming here. So let's bring it here. Okay. We can just over it here or come back here and over any one of it and right click. Then we'll also be needing, though it's not all we'll be needing. So I'm just selecting the ones that are important to us that we'll be needing. Inquiry. Select. To move it, you just click on this dotted part here and then you can be able to move it. And to cancel it, maybe you brought it out mistakenly and you want to return it, just you don't need it anymore, just cancel it here. But to move it, just click on this dotted part here and then you can be able to move it to any part of the screen. So let's bring out the rest by right clicking. We'll be needing our modify, which are the modification tools, the erase, the copy, the offset mirror. Let's just bring them here. So these modification tools are here now, which are, they are the ones here. They've been separated and brought out here outside here for easy access. For it to be easily accessible here. Let's adjust this properly. Okay. So let's check for the rest. Think, properties. Yeah, properties, which indicates any drawing you are making. They usually have their properties. Maybe the thickness of that category, or maybe let's assume any layer you are making will have a properties. Any layer you input on the design will have a property. So that is just representing the property of each layer. Any layer you select will have maybe the color. Once you come here, you are having the color of that particular layer, the type of line used to make that particular layer or to draw that particular layer, and then the thickness. The thickness also. Though this is not eh, this, I don't know what this, but we'll get to know that later. So this property is here now, is hidden here. Is it here? So we just brought it out here for easy access. You can easily know the color or type of line you are working with, and you can easily edit it individually. So I think these are just the major tools we'll be needing for our drawing for 2D as of now. As of now. So these are just what we'll be needing. And maybe the next class we'll talk more about their uses and the rest. So now let's talk about our mouse before we now move on to setting our unit and then the limit. So now to talk about the mouse, as I said, okay, I know it is advisable to get an external mouse for your AutoCAD drawing. For any design you are making in your system, it's advisable to get an external mouse because the inbuilt mouse on your laptop will not be comfortable to use for your drawing. But if you are using a desktop, then fine, because that will surely have an external mouse. And once you want to get an external mouse, you don't just get any external mouse. Try to make sure the one you are getting is having the scroll button on top to be able to scroll. Now, as I'm with my mouse now, I'm scrolling in and out easily. I'm scrolling in and out easily. Instead of me using this and zooming, it will take time. So to make it easier for me, I'll just use my mouse to scroll. And another advantage of it is that instead of me coming here to select the hand tool, which is used for the pan, that's to move your page maybe horizontally or vertically. Instead of me doing that, I will just press down on the scroll button of my external mouse, and it will be easier for me to pan. It will be easier for me to pan. So it's just more or less like a shortcut tool for for you to be able to be fast with your work. That's just how it works.